59th Street Bridge song by Simon and Garfunkel, also known as Feeling Groovy. This song has an awesome bouncy finger-picking pattern. I've broken it down into the intro, which has some embellishments, and then the main bulk of the finger-picking pattern for the rest of the song. The song is a request, so I hope I've put together an effective lesson for you. 1, 2, 3, 4. The recording of the song has a capo on fret number 3. This puts it in the key of B flat. To make it easier when we're talking about the chords, how they relate to each other and the theory aspect of it, I've decided to do the lesson without a capo. I'll play through it with the capo at the end of the lesson. So for the purposes of the lesson today, we'll be talking about it in the key of G. The intro slowed down. The song's essentially made up of a repetition of the same few chords repeated. We've got fragments of the chords and chords in slightly different positions. Starting with the C, on the picking hand I've got my thumb on the A string and I like to use my third finger on the E string. You can use your middle finger if you want to. I prefer to use my third finger because I use that as an anchor point for the whole of the picking pattern and it pretty much hovers over that string. So we pick these two strings at the same time, the A string and the open E. We then move to the G over B chord. The thumb stays on the A string, the middle finger plays the B string and we play those at the same time. The first finger plays the open G string. Move to the A minor, the thumb stays on the A string, the middle finger on the B string, play them at the same time. The first finger plays the G string and the thumb comes down to play the D string. Running through those one time slowly. We then take our middle finger to the 7th fret of the E string. This is a B. This is part of the G chord or the G scale. So we're going to pick the 7th fret E string and the open B string together. As we do that, we're going to slide the finger down to the 3rd fret, which is a G. Takes us back to the G chord. When we've done that, we play open G, D string with the thumb and open G again. So that first part of the intro for the next part of the intro, we return to the C chord, but this time we play a couple of extra notes. We play the A string with the thumb, the G string with the first finger, the A string and the E strings, and then back to the first finger on the G. We move to the G over B chord, play the B and the A strings together. The first finger plays the G, the thumb plays the D, and the first finger plays the G again. The A minor chord next, we play the B string and the A string together. We play the first finger on the G and the thumb comes down to play the D. We We then go to play the 7th fret of the E string again. This time we're sliding up twice, quick. At the same time that we do this, we are picking the open B string, so we get this. 2 notes together, 2 Bs. And then play the open G string as we return to the next part. So quick recap. The part 3 of the intro is the same picking pattern on the C, the same picking pattern on the B over G, the same picking pattern on the A minor, and then the slide that was in the first section down to the G, and the pick on the G string, D string, G string. The 4th time plays the first 3 chords the same as we have done previously. But this time we play our G here. As you'll notice, this is the same shape as a D chord. An open D chord, it's a triad shape. So we're going to play it on the 7th fret with the first 2 fingers, and the 3rd finger is going to play the 8th fret. That gives us a G triad, G major triad. So we're going to play the 3rd finger on the G string, the middle finger on the E string, play those together, and then our 1st finger will play the B string. So we get this. Immediately after that 3rd note ringing out, we're going to slide that 3rd finger all the way down to the 3rd fret on the B string. So keep your finger pressed down when you do that. That plays a D. That takes us back to the G chord. We end the intro with a bass line. With the thumb, open E, 2nd fret E, which is an F sharp, 3rd fret E, which is a G, 4th fret E, which is an A, and then 5th fret E, which is a B. So to recap on that intro, we now come to verse 1 where the lyrics come in. So down, you move too fast. So down. Looking for fun and feeling groovy. Da 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 da. As you can see, we're playing the same chords that we did on the intro, but the process of getting to the G is a lot more simplified. So we begin with the C chord, same picking pattern, G over B, same picking pattern, A minor shape, same picking pattern. But when we get to the G, we just take our 3rd finger, play the 3rd fret of the E string, play the middle finger on the B string, play those together, play the 1st finger on the G, the 3rd finger on the D, and the 1st finger on the G again. Once again. little bit slower. The second part plays the same chords. But this time on the G, we play the B and the E string twice, and then play the open G. Repeat the first part again. And then the fourth part plays the second part, where we play the double. We then have a little bit of a break, which plays the third finger on the third fret of the A string and the middle finger on the second fret of the D string. To play a bit more of the C, we've added the third. Our thumb on the picking hand plays the A string, and it will alternate in this sequence between the A and the D string for the first three chords. The first finger on the picking hand is going to play the open G. We go to the G over B chord. We go to the A minor chord. And then we go to the G chord, where the thumb goes up to the E string and then jumps down to the D string. So as a sequence together. We finish that section going back to the C and the picking patterns that we know. That's the first verse. That covers the intro and verse 1. Verse 2 and the rest of the song contain all the elements that we've covered in verse 1, but some of the sections are extended and maybe in a slightly different place. It's the same picking patterns and the same chords. So have a listen and you'll be able to hear that. It's quite a short song. While your guitar's out, if you're enjoying the acoustic picking practice, go and check out Johnny Cash, I Walk the Line, with an acoustic fingerstyle approach.